Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah. Yesterday we discussed the problems, soft design problems. There are a couple of problems are there. These are different problems. We discussed today first that problems, then we move to the hollow shaft. Whatever we are discussing now, solid shaft. After completion of the solid shaft, then we move to the hollow shaft design. Then we try to go for the key design also today. Okay. There are two more problems are there in the solid shaft. Now we are going to discuss that now. I think this problem we discussed yesterday, right? Yeah, this problem we didn't discuss yesterday. Now, this is a simple problem. Guys, in this subject, it's very good subject and you can score good marks also because all are very simple concept. The simple concept we are expanding in different applications. How to expand the simple concept, that is very important. Remaining things are easy. So whatever you studied, design of machine elements and the strength of material, those concepts only we are using here. Okay. So, but only thing is, I mean, whatever we are discussing, the problem is if you are understanding, it will be very easy. And when we are going to end up with the subject, it will be covered more content. Then that time you will feel how many equations I could remember like that. Hence, beginning itself give more concentration in these problems as well as the derivations. Okay, understand the concept, basics, then derive the equation your own. Then you can easily remember the formula and easily recollect the formula while in the exam. Okay, see the problem. The transmission shaft supporting gears B and the supporting the gears B, okay, and the pulley D. See the figure. This is the gear B. This is the pulley D here. Okay. Now the shaft is mounted on two bearings A and C. This is shaft A, bearing A. This is a bearing C. It's acting as a support, as well as it will be freely allowed to rotate the shaft. Okay. Now the diameter of the pulley and the pitch circle diameter of the gears, pitch circle diameter is given 450 mm, gear pitch circle diameter 450 mm, and 300 mm diameter of pulley. Okay. The pulley transmit the power 20 kilowatt at 20 kilowatt at the speed of 500 rpm. Pulley is connected to the motor. Okay. Transmit the power 20 kilowatt here. But the diameter of the pulley means speed of the pulley is 500 rpm. Okay. Now 500 rpm to the gear. Now P1 and P2 are the belt tensions. P1 and P2 are the belt tensions already given here. Belt tensions. Okay. And on the tight and slack side of the belt. While PT and PR here, PT and PR are the tangential and radial components of the tooth force. From the gear side. Okay. Now we can assume that tight side force in the belt is equal to 3 times of the slack side force. And similarly, I can, in the problem given, radial force PR is equal to tangential force multiplied by tan 20. Now, the gear and the pulley are keyed to the shaft. The material of the shaft is, 50 C4. Then ultimate strength is equal to 700 Newton per mm square. Yield strength SOIT is equal to 460 Newton per mm square. Okay. Now the factors KB and KT are given. 1.5, both of them 1.5. Now we have to find out the, diameter of the shaft. That is the now our aim now. Okay. Now come to the problem. These are the given data, whatever we discussed. Now this is now RPM give a speed given, speed of the pulley given, and KB and KT given, and this is nothing but gear. Gear is this is 300 mm. I think pulley is given. Pulley is given. 1 minute. Yes. Yeah. Pulley diameter is 450 mm. I think something wrong here. Okay, correct. Okay. Now, here the ASME code, as per the ASME standard calculations, 0.S3 SYT, 0.3, 0.1 SUT. Which one is lowest value? That will be considered. But the pulley and the gear both are connected in the shaft with the help of the keys. Hence, we have to multiply it again 0.75 times of our tau max. Here, whatever we found the minimum value, that must be multiplied with 0.75 times. Then this is our permissible tau max value. Permissible tau max value. Now, what is the torque transmitted? This is simple. Torque transmitted nothing but power given. Power is equal to 2 pi nt. Speed given. T is nothing but mt divided by 60. Right? From these relations, we are able to. This is a Newton millimeter they are given. Then multiply 10 power 6. This is our torque. Twisting moment, right? Now, bending moment. Come to the bending moment. Before bending moment, we would like to find out the P1 and P2 values. Now, they have given that P1, P2. They didn't give the value, but the ratio they have given P1 by P2 is equal to, now P1 by P2 is equal to 3. They already given in the problem. P1 by P2 is equal to 3. Given the problem. Now, we know the torque. Now, this torque is nothing but P1 minus from the pulley. P1 minus P2 into R. Radius of the pulley. Radius of the pulley is 225 mm. 450 by 2, 225 mm. Is equal to nothing but, this is nothing but MT. This is nothing but MT. Now, from these relations, we are able to find out what is P1 and P2. Now, substitute P1 is equal to 3 times P2 in this equation. Then we have found that P1 value and P2 value. Finally, how much load is acting in the pulley is nothing but P1 plus P2. Okay. Now what is this? Now we know that, where is the load is acting now? P1 plus P2 is the 3,395. This is the pulley load acting on the point D. Okay. Now I would like to understand what is the load acting in the load acting in the gear drive. Gear drive also already given the ratio. Already they given the condition. Now here, see here, PT is equal to PR is equal to PT into 1020. From this relation, now what is the torque here in the gear? Tangential force into pitch circle diameter divided by 2. Okay, this is nothing but MT. The torque is same in the pulley as well as the gear. Hence, PT into 300 by 2 is equal to MT. From this relation, we are able to find out what is the PT. Then find out the PT. Now, once you have found the PT, then you are able to find out the radial force in the gear drive. This is the radial force on the gear drive. Okay. Now, what are the load is acting here now? Now, see here. This is subjected to horizontal. This is subject to tangential force of PT, and this is the PR, radial force. Now here, both are in vertical force. Both are vertical force of P1 plus P2 here in the pulley, but in the gear drive, tangential force and radial force now. Now in this calculation, now what is our radial force is 2000. Vertical plane. Vertical plane we have to consider now. Now our PT is 2546, right? What is our PR? 926.84 Newton, right? 926. Now the PR is nothing but our vertical component. PR is nothing but vertical component in the vertical plane here. This is a PR, right? PR from the gear. From the gear, this is the vertical component. Hence, this is the now 926 where we have found this. Substitute here. First, we have found these two components. Then go for the reaction calculation. Find the how much force, reaction force at the point A, at the bearing A, at the point C, at the bearing C. Okay. Now we know these two components. We know the distance of the beam. It looks like the shaft. The shaft looks like a beam construction. Okay. Now from the reaction force calculation, we have found that this is the reaction at the C, 5556.39 Newton. At the reaction at the A is 1234.24 in downward direction. Once we know that, go for the bending moment calculation. Now this is the bending moment calculation. Just what is the dimension? What is the length of the length here? Here the length is given 400 mm. This is the length is given. This length is 400 mm, 400 mm, right? This is also 400 mm. Now, this is the 400 mm, 400. Here, find the, bending moment here. Bending moment, what is the bending moment here? Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 into 0.4. Into 0.4. This is will give you, or you can 0.4, then you can put it to 400. 400, okay. They consider all are in mm. Okay, 400. Now, see here, this is the bending moment at point B. Similarly, you take bending moment to find the bending moment at point C. This both the forces are acting downward direction. Hence, the bending moment will be very high. Because 0.8, here 400 mm, here 400 mm length, here 400 mm length. Then what is the bending moment at C? It's nothing but 1234.24 into 400 plus 926.84 into 1234.24 into 800 plus 926 into 400. Okay. Now find the bending moment. The bending moment is downward direction because the anti-clockwise direction, right? Now later find the bending moment at the point D going to be 0. This is with respect to vertical load. Vertical load. Now come to the horizontal load. What is the horizontal load is acting here? Now this is the load. This is the load. What we discussed, the PT from the gear, that is the horizontal load. See here. This is the PT here. Now this is our PT. This PT is nothing but horizontal load now. Now only one load is acting horizontal load. Then 2546.48. But this is at the middle of the beam, because now our middle of the two support. At the middle of the two support only. 400 mm, then 400, then finally we can easily find out the reaction calculations. 2546 divided by 2. Then the reactions both are placed same. At the point A, at the point C, the reaction is 1273 Newton and 1273 Newton upward force. Now again go for the calculation. Bending moment calculation with respect to horizontal plane or horizontal load. Now this is exactly sitting on the middle of the beam. Middle of the two support, not middle of the beam. Middle of the two support. Hence the bending moment is maximum at the middle. Oh, okay. Now see here. Now go for the maximum bending moment calculation. Maximum bending moment calculation nothing but resultant bending moment. Resultant bending moment. Now see here. This is here 1358.124 Newton. Now this is the maximum bending moment. Maximum bending. If you calculate, resultant bending moment, square root of this bending moment squared plus this bending moment squared, and again with respect to point C, square root of this bending moment squared, here 0. Finally, we are going to get this is the maximum bending moment. Hence, we are considering at the C is the maximum bending moment. This is a point at the C, maximum bending moment. We already know twisting moment, torsion moment. Now go for the problem. This is the ASME code approach. Hence we are using the formula KB and KT value inside the, inside the formula. Now this is the tau max already given. What is the tau max? Tau max is here. Sorry, tau max is 94.5 Newton per mm square. Then substitute this equation. We already discussed this equation. Then we able to find out the diameter is equal to 48.5 mm. Do you have any doubt? Please go ahead. Here, actually, here I didn't draw. Here I'm not showing here that torsional moment diagram. You can draw here at this. Where is this torsional moment? Here. This is the belt drive. This is the gear drive. Where is locating our pulley? Pulley is locating here. Okay. This is a point A. This is a point C. This is the point B. Here, gear drive is sitting. In this place, belt drive is sitting. This is a point D. This is the pulley. This is gear drive. Okay, this is our MT. Now we are able to find out the diameter of the shaft is so nearly 49 mm. So do you have any doubt? Shall we move to next problem? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Your voice is low. I check it. Its volume first. Yeah. The volume is less. Now increase the volume first. The next problem is different problem. See here, the transmission of shaft supporting a helical gear. Whatever we discussed earlier gear is a spur gear. Now we are discussing the helical gear. Now this problem is different. Okay, here the supporting helical gear B. This is the helical gear. See this arrangement. This is a helical gear. Okay. Now helical gear and overhang bevel gear D. This is overhang bevel gear D. Overhang bevel gear D. Now the shaft is mounted on two bearings A and B. Shaft is mounted on bearings A and C. The pitch circle diameter of the helical gear is 450 mm. 450 mm and the diameter of the bevel gear is 450 mm. Both are same. Diameter of the bevel gear at the forces is 450 mm. At the forces is 450 mm. Power is transmitted from the helical gear. Power is transmitted from the helical gear to bevel gear. Power transmission in the input power is where it is located. Input power is where it is where the applied input power. Input power is here. Okay. The power is transmitted from helical gear to bevel gear. Okay. The gears are keyed to the shaft. The material is a 45C8. This ultimate tensile strength is 600 Newton per mm square. The yield strength is 380 Newton per mm square. So the factors of KB and KT values are given 2 and 1.5 respectively. Now our aim is to define the diameter of the shaft. Now this is a somewhat interesting and interesting problem. Now see here, 1 minute. Just give me a minute. We'll slightly increase the size. Because I'm teaching in the desktop. Suppose someone is watching the laptop, it may be the letter size may not be visible. So that's what I'm slightly increasing the. Now, are you able to see the picture clearly, that the letters?
Yes, sir.
I hope that very comfortable now. Now see here. Now, I mean, these are the given parameters. Now, first to find out the our permissible value of tau max 81 Newton per mm square. Now, your second step, we are going for finding the bending moment. Where is the bending moment? Now, see here. I mean, bending moment at B. Bending moment at B. The forces and bending moments in vertical and horizontal planes. Here you can see this. Can see this here. This is with respect to vertical plane, vertical load. I mean, the concept is same. Only I have to tell you only very important thing, that how this bending moment is calculated. Because see here, I mean, this figure you may not see clarity here. The load is how the load is acting here. You may not see clearly here. Okay. Now the gears are inclined teeth. The gear, both gears, bevel gear. This is the helical gear. This is the bevel gear. That tooth on the gears are in, I mean, different angle of orientation. Okay. Hence here, three forces are involved in these gears. I mean, see here, I show you the another picture you can clearly understand. Now, see here, this is the vertical load. Now, 640 Newton. Now, this is vertical load. Now, this is the vertical load, 640 Newton. Now, see here, this is our tangential load. This is, you may say that PR. This is our vertical load is, I mean, in the vertical plane, this is a 210, sorry, not the 640, 210 Newton, right? In tangential load here, PT is 640 Newton. But due to this inclination of the teeth, the another load is acting, it's a perpendicular to the, perpendicular to the our board. I mean, parallel to the our shaft axis. Parallel to the shaft axis. Hence, this is the created a bending moment. Created a bending moment. How it is created? I tell you that also. Then this is the load. A different color I put it here. Now, this is the load. P is now in the gear. For example, this is our gear. For this is, I am trying to draw. Sorry, this is not perfect. Okay. Now the load is acting vertical, radial load. The load is acting tangential. This is PT. Okay, the same direction I give that, then only you may not confuse. This is a PT. Guys, I am not considering bevel gear. For your understanding, I have drawn like this the gear here. This is radial. All right. Because of this inclined teeth, the load is acting here. This load is acting here. Now that will create the bending moment. The load is perpendicular to the cross section of the gear. But this cross section of the gear. Okay. Now this load is, we are considering 100 Newton. Now that will create the bending moment. In this, create the bending moment. Then anyway, this 210 and 640 are radial and tangential load respectively. When we are considering radial load, it will be a vertical plane. When we are considering the tangential load, it will be a horizontal plane. But this load, it will be generate the bending moment in the shaft. I mean, this is 100 Newton. Similarly, you come here. Here, teeth are inclined because of helical gear. And similarly, the load, which load is acting here now. Important problem, please practice well. This is the, I mean, this is nothing but PT, right? Now, this is nothing but, sorry, this is nothing but radial load, PR. This is a vertical component. This is a horizontal component. But due to inclination of that teeth, another load is involved in this design. That load is perpendicular to the cross section. Perpendicular to the cross section. That is here. That load is here. That load is here. This you see here. This one. That 270 Newton. This 270 Newton. This 270 Newton is here. Now you come to the calculation, you can easily understand. Okay. Now I come to the calculation. First, I would like to take, now bending moment. Now see, first you go for the calculation. Now these are the things you are very well known. See here. Now, where is the load is acting? This is the bearing. This is the bearing or support. Where is the located bearing? This is the B1. This is the B2. Okay. Now, where is sitting our, helical gear? Helical gear is sitting at the B, at the point B. We are first considering the vertical plane. Then in the vertical plane, see here, 640 Newton. The vertical plane, 640 Newton is, the load is acting here. This is vertical load. See here, this is vertical load, 640 Newton acting at the point B. Now, come to this bevel gear. This is a bevel gear, no? In the bevel gear, 210 Newton is acting vertical load. Now, see here, in the helical gear, the load is given upward direction. But in bevel gear, the load is given what is the load? 210 Newton in downward direction. Hence, at a point D, 210 Newton. Okay. Now, as I told you that early, this 100 Newton create the bending moment in the shaft. Bending moment in the shaft. Then what is the bending moment here? Bending moment is nothing but due to the load acting perpendicular to the bevel gear, 210 into, what is the radius of the bevel gear? 450 divided by 2, 225. Then 225. Sorry, here 100. Sorry, I did a mistake. Sorry, guys. Here 100. Because here this is 100. 100 into this radius. Okay, 225. The load is acting here. Okay, this can take vertical direction, any direction. Okay. Now this is the create the bending moment. Create the bending moment here. Now see here. Now, we know this. We know this vertical load from the bevel gear, vertical load from the helical gear. This one. This is where bending moment from the bevel gear. Now we have load component, bending moment component. Then go for the reaction calculation. Then we able to find out the reaction force at bearing 1 at location A 396.87, at location C 33.13. This is our reaction of the support. Reaction of the support. Now go for the bending moment calculation. Now bending moment calculation. In the bending moment calculations, point B, you can easily find it out. Okay. 3,396 into 400. Into 400. You are going to get this is the bending moment. Similarly, you have to find out the bending moment at point C. Right. Now, here, free end, it won't be a 0 here in this situation because the free end is bending moment is acting. Hence, then we have to find out the bending moment how much here. Okay. Now, I come to this bending moment 22,500 Newton millimeter. Now I come to the horizontal load. When we are considering the horizontal load, now what is the horizontal load? Now I start from the bevel gear first. Horizontal load, what is the horizontal load in bevel gear? Now horizontal load in the bevel gear is this one. Now this one. Now this is the horizontal load in the bevel gear. What is the horizontal load in helical gear? I mean, horizontal load in helical gear is 640 Newton. Sorry, 250 Newton. This one. Sorry, this is 250 Newton. Already we have considered 640 in vertical. Okay, this is 250 Newton. Now, not only 250 Newton horizontal load. Now, here the bevel gear, helical gear subjected to bending moment, that we should consider. Okay, now when we are considering horizontal plane. Now, what is this? I mean, what is the bending moment acting in the bending moment acting due to this force 270 Newton? What is the bending moment? 270 into radius of the 270 into what is the radius? I mean, radius is 450 divided by 2. Now, that is the our bending moment created with from the this 270 Newton component acting in the perpendicular to the perpendicular to the cross section of the gear, helical gear, because of the teeth are angle, the teeth are oriented in some different angle. And now we know this force, we know this force, and we know this bending moment. Then we are able to find out this, reaction force, reaction calculation. We are able to find out this reactions at the bearing A, at the reaction at the bearing C, with respect to horizontal component and horizontal bending moment effect. Now, based on this, now later go for our bending moment calculation with respect to horizontal load. Then we are going to get this the bending moment. Okay. Now, from this, which one is maximum bending moment? Go for the resultant bending moment. Then find out the maximum bending moment for our designing the shaft diameter. Now, now we have to find out first what is the twisting moment. The twisting moment or torque transmitted by bevel gear and helical gear, both are same. Hence, I can consider 640 into 225. This is where it is 640. Now, I can consider here. Either you may consider bevel gear or you may consider helical gear. Finding the twisting moment, it will be both are same. Now, this is the 144 into 10 power 3 Newton millimeter. This is a torsional moment. Now, come to this diameter finding. Now, what is the maximum? I close this 1 minute. Sorry. Now come to the maximum bending moment calculation. Now I am coming to this two step now. Bending moment at point A. This one. Bending moment C at C. This is the bending moment. So now which one is maximum in this? So in this, the maximum bending moment we have to consider now for our calculation. This is the maximum bending moment at point C. At point C here. At point C. This and this we are considered at point C. This is a maximum bending moment. Then that maximum bending moment we are considering 263.283 263.283 10 power 3 Newton millimeter. That is considered here. This is a KB value. This is a KT value. This is our twisting moment value. Then finally, this is our tau max, right? So tau max. This is nothing but this is the d cube is equal to tau max is here. Then finally, we are able to find out the diameter of the shaft. 33, nearly 33 mm. Yeah, please, if you have any doubt, please go ahead. I'm going to start. The next one is hollow shaft. Any doubt?
No, sir.
Thank you, but thank you. Now I come to this design of the hollow shaft. Okay. Now, very simple. You can easily understand on the basics. If you know the torsional equation, if you know the moment of inertia and section modulus and polar moment of inertia formula, then these are very simple concept only. Now, see here, design of the hollow shaft. We know that the torsional shear and bending shear in the shaft early, right? This is the torsional shear This is a bending. It's nothing but a T by J. From this, T by J is equal to G theta by L is equal to tau by R formula. This is from bending governing equation. M by A is equal to sigma B by Y is equal to E by R. From this formula, this is derived. Now, see here, the distribution of bending stress and torsional stress are shown in here. Now, this is distribution of bending. Now, distribution of torsional stress is this one, right? Now, R is equal to 0. I mean, radius R is equal to 0. What is the stress component? I mean, I would like to show you one small thing here. Why we are considering this diagram? Just a minute, give me a minute. I show you. I come to how many students are there in the video, in the class. I want to see that also. Are you able to see? Because this is the first step. Only 59 students are there. Kalyan, 57. Please inform students. I'm going to take attendance.
Yes.
Okay. When bending moment is acting here, this is, for example, the shaft supported like this. When bending moment is acting here, then just keep in mind, this is a cross section going to be rectangular, right? When the twisting moment is acting here, in the cross, I mean, this is the rectangular cross. This is in the in the front view, it will be a rectangle. Now, when the twisting moment is acting here, now this is the twisting moment along the cross section, circular cross section, circular cross section. The drawing, whatever we have seen just now, that twisting, I mean, torsional shear and bending stress effect based on this concept only. When the bar is fixed like this, I mean, supported like this, then bending load is acting here, right? The top layer going to be compressive, bottom layer going to be tensile when bending load is acting here. But when the twisting moment, the load is twisting moment, the load is acting here, twisting moment, the cross section, then the cross section going to be the outer layer going to be maximum stress, and the inner layer, this center. When center is the point, R is equal to 0, going to be 0 stress. Anyway, yeah, put a WhatsApp message in your group, Kalyan. Only 62 students are there. 60 students, because total strength 88. Okay, now based on that, now this is, I mean, this side is a compression, this side is a tension, right? Now during bending moment, I mean, I told you that in the pen that the bending load or bending moment is acting. You can consider bending load, or you may consider bending moment. Okay, it doesn't matter. Now twisting moment acting, then the cross section is, I mean, along the cross section, this is a stress distribution diagram. Stress distribution diagram with respect to bending stress, with respect to shear stress. Now R is equal to here. What is this in this case? R equal to 0, right? Sigma B is equal to 0 and tau is equal to also 0. Sigma B is equal to 0, tau also is going to be 0. Right? Now, as the radius increases, I mean, what is the meaning of it? Here, as the radius increases, the resistance is also going to be increased due to the effect of bending and torsional moment. Due to the effect of bending or torsional moment, or increment of the bending and torsional moment. When the radius increases, resistance stress is also going to be increased. Here, I mean, the outer fiber, this is outer fiber, right? This is outer fiber. The outer fiber are more effective in resisting the applied moment. The hollow shaft, now we are going to discuss the hollow shaft. Hollow shaft is stronger than the solid shaft at the same weight. How it will be possible? Hollow shaft is stronger than the solid sort. Now, a small explanation I would like to give you here. Now, I go back. Now, see here, do tell me here, two shafts are there. As I told you that when the radius increases, resistance is also going to increase. Now, this is a shaft, right? This is the diameter D1. This is the hollow shaft. But the hole is there. But both are same material, identical material. Now, this is the D height. Okay, but length is same. Here also length is same. Now, I mean, this is a case A. Now, in this is A, this is a B. Now, I mean, which length? This is both are same material. This is a D1. Now, this is D2. I mean, in this case, now D1 is equal to D2. D1, now I'm considering D1 is equal to D2. Which one is more weight? Either this is 1. This is which one is more weight? Either 1 is more weight or 2 is more weight.
1, sir.
1.
Yeah, obviously. Sorry. This is M1 is greater than M2, right? M1 is obviously greater than M2. And which case M1 is equal to M2? Now I am taking case 2. M1 is equal to M2. I mean, when M1 is equal to M2, when M1 is going to be M2. Can you tell me that? I mean, I'm telling that length is same.
Sir, when D2 will be greater than D1.
Yeah, D2 is greater than
D1.
When M1 is equal to M2, at D2 is greater than D1. What I told you the statement early. I mean, the radius increases, the resistances increases also. Hence, I mean, hollow shaft is much better than solid shaft. Hollow shaft much better than solid shaft, and also hollow shaft is stronger than solid shaft at the same weight. At the same weight, because diameter is high. The outer diameter is high. Okay, when D increases, when diameter increases, MT also increases. MT or MB also going to be increased. More amount of twisting moment or more bending moment can be applied in the structure or shaft. Now I come to this, our as usual discussion. Okay. Now see here, now you see this statement here. Yeah, now, and this is the stress distribution of bending stress. Now, distribution of bending stress, this diagram. This is the distribution of torsional stresses, this diagram, but inner layer at R is equal to 0. R is equal to 0, while sigma B and tau is going to be 0. Now, the stiffness of the hollow shaft is more than the solid shaft at the same weight, whatever we discussed just now. Okay, the strength of the hollow shaft is more than the solid shaft. Stiffness and strength is more in hollow shaft. Okay, now hollow shafts are used for the, I mean, see here another application. Why we are going for hollow shaft? That also we have to understand. I tell you what are the applications. Some few applications. What are the use of hollow shaft? Now, hollow shafts are used for provide the passage of coolants, right? Coolants and control cables in case of deep hole drilling and borewell drilling, right? In borewell drilling, what we are sending inside. For example, borewell drilling, no, you might have been seen many places in winter, summer season. People are doing drilling for getting water, right? What they are sending inside the hole? I mean, sorry, are they using solid rod or hollow rod. They are using multiple rods. That rods will be connected seriously for digging the earth, maybe 400 feet or 200 feet or 100 feet based on our requirement. What type of shaft are they using? Solid shaft or hollow shaft? Anyone please reply that. Are they using solid shaft or hollow shaft?
Sir, can you repeat the question, sir, once?
Yes, I repeat it, no problem. I think you might have been seen in roadside, even your village or your town, people are even your agriculture land, people are doing drilling the earth for getting water, right? Deep hole drilling well. That's what we are saying, borewell drilling.
Yes,
in
sir.
the borewell drilling, are they using solid shaft or hollow shaft?
They use hollow shaft, sir.
Hollow shaft, sir.
Hollow shaft. Why? Why they are using hollow shaft?
So drilling will be easy, and the torsional moment will required will be less.
Because sir, water will come, sir, from the inside.
Water? Yeah, please. Right. Tell me.
Water will come out from inside through the hole.
Partially right. Very important point you are missing. Partially right. That is also important, but still I'm expecting point is not there. Suppose I tell now I am asking that. Suppose no water inside the drilling, borewell drilling. Then?
Sir, for the mud to come out.
Okay, that also a valid answer. Beyond one more information is there.
More strength.
More strength. I mean, have you seen that the bottom side is some drill bit like this? They're putting some drill bit, no?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
How they are sending the? How? I mean, here.
Yes, sir. Through the hole, they put the drilling through the hole.
Through the hole, they are sending high pressure air, pa. High pressure air. Have you seen that? They are using high pressure compressor, right? They are sending high pressure air to rotate this drill bit, and not only rotating, they are creating the vibration, and rotation. Then they are doing drilling. It's not like that the drilling machine. We are doing borewell drilling is not like that the drilling machine. They're sending high pressure air and they're rotating. I mean, they're trying to rotate the whole rod, as well as they're trying to send high pressure air inside the hole and try to apply this vibration here also in the drill bit for digging the earth. Okay. I mean, it's water is coming out. How the water is coming out through the hole? We have to send the air, right? Otherwise, how it will come air? How it will come water through the hole, right? That's what, I mean, they're based on application. We are using hollow shaft, but this is one of the important applications. Okay, I mean, now. I mean, they're also used the propeller shaft. I mean, even vehicle propeller shaft we are using in the lorry, bus. You can see that propeller shaft is hollow shaft. Okay, and also railway wagons we are using hollow shafts also. And in epicyclic gear train, epicyclic gears also hollow shaft only, hollow shaft, right? And hollow shaft into epicyclic gearbox. I mean, these are the hollow shaft, and the hollow shafts are I mean, there are many applications. It is not limited. You think you can get it more applications now. And hollow shaft, how we are preparing, how we are making with the help of the extrusion process. The hollow shafts are making with the help of the extrusion process. Now, design of the hollow shaft consists of determining the correct inner diameter and outer diameter. We are going to discuss the hollow shaft dimensions. I mean, outer dia and inner dia. Based on the whatever we discussed earlier, the same concept here we are going to apply strength and rigidity consideration. Here also we are going to consider strength and rigidity. Now, see here, now I am taking the shaft is anyway, whatever we discuss, the shaft is going to have a hollow portion. the hollow portion now, I mean, inner diameter is di, the inner diameter is di, the outer diameter is going to be d naught. Then initially I'm considering d by d naught is equal to c. This is less than, c is less than 1. C is less than 1. Now, what is not happening? Okay, now,
Sir,
yeah.
the time up, sir. We have another class. 3 at 3.
Okay, 1 minute. How much is there? Okay, pa. I stop it here. Next class we complete the keys and hollow shot. Very simple. Next class we complete the keys, hollow shot, and the corresponding problems we will complete in the next class. Okay.
Yes, sir.
I come to this.
Sir, I will share attendance to you, sir, like before.
Okay, Kalyan. Okay, Kalyan, can you make it also Excel file?
Yes, sir. I will make it, sir.
You share me PDF file, no problem. You make it on Excel file. Each column, yesterday, like based on X, you share me every day, share me that every class you share me PDF file. The Excel file also, you enter the roll number and share me.
Like you did, sir, in Excel, like this.
Are you understanding, Kalyan?
In Excel, like you did, I have to do, sir.
Yes. Okay, guys, if you have any doubt, please, you can ask me that. Next class, we have to complete keys and hollow shot. Sure. Any doubt? Okay, I'm closing meeting. Kalyan?